Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. Okay, so the last week was really busy. I think quite good too. We had Physical God Goku ZZ that was really good. We had, at least for now, the stopping of time-limited content too, or limited time content. Hopefully that continues. Like, it's like awesome that the Battle of Gods, Supreme Menace and Battle, is remaining. I believe the Beerus event is ending, though, right? This one, this event does go away. So, we'll see. Yeah, this is up for a very small amount of time right there. So, we'll see. We'll see. I am hoping that, in particular, let's see which one. This one right here. The Super Saiyan 3 Goku fight is a really good fight. Greatest Tours, I would love to return as well. Where's Greatest Tours at? I don't see it. Yeah, right here. Because that Jiren fight, I think, is, one of the best design fights in Dokkan history. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't agree with that, but I do think it's true, right? So, I think the last week was very good. Maybe some people are upset about the alternate arts, but, the thing is, people are worried about, what would, okay, this is step 1. What does step 4 look like, right? I think it's mostly frustration of what the game could become from the alternate arts rather than what they did right here, because a lot of people, what's crazy is a ridiculous amount of people summon for this. I saw way more people summoning for these guys than I have many of these in between Dokkanfest, like Vegeta and Nappa, Baby, Deborah, characters like that. But these guys, I saw people summoning like crazy for these guys. Now the banner was very easy to pull them, right? Which I think is a big reason why. We'll see what ends up happening with that, right? So we had a very strong, week here. So, I would not even say that this celebration is bad anymore. This, kind of pseudo Golden Week celebration, the Goku Day celebration. I think it's just more so that they just had really terrible pacing for this celebration. Because if they had spread some of this stuff out across, when they dropped God Goku and Beerus, there was nothing. They dropped pretty much by themselves. And then, Whis and Beerus and Whis were very good, but they also kind of just dropped by themselves, right? So there really wasn't too much there. So upcoming, we got a very rare, I'm telling y'all, this does not happen often, second data download in a week. What we get, month after month after month, is weekly content, right? And so much I do these videos where we're kind of pointing out when stuff is probably going to release and stuff like that. That's never under the assumption that they're going to do 2 data downloads unless we're an anniversary or GDC. That's it. Even Tanabata, TDC, Golden Week, Saiyan Day, I'm not anticipating 2 data downloads in a week. No way. So they did this to drop a couple of content on the 25th. It's not a ton. It's some Quest Mode stages, Extreme Super Battle Road, and Union Master. When do the Quest Mode stages drop? The 26th. So it's the day after. Yeah, these are the 25th, and they drop on the 26th. Okay. Interesting. But the reason I think that they probably did that is because we got the content drop on, the 21st? Was when God Goku, the alternate art banner and some of the stuff dropped. The next, besides Monday, which is just a couple of, I don't know what I would say, low-level stages or whatever. I think our next actual drop is the 29th, right? That's when the next celebration, the next Dokanfest celebration begins on May 29th. So that's why I think they kind of just, slid some of this content in right here, right? So, if we take a look at this, right? So, these events drop on the 25th. And then I think we kind of have our schedule sort of mapped out a little bit for what is going to be upcoming, right? So May 25th right here is when we get that content. And I think if there was a hint, that's going to be the hint stuff. Seems like sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not too sure on when we might, maybe if there's a hint, it'd be the 25th, but I'm not too sure about the hint stuff, right? I'm not. But I think the 27th is probably when we would see details for the Dokan Fest. And I think the 29th, of course, next Friday, is when we would see the Dokan Fest actually release, right? Upcoming. Now, this is kind of an interesting lineup of characters because my mind would say that this is like a low level time slot, right? Like, not really too crazy of a character. But if you actually look at it, I mean, Future Gohan, Namek Goku, right? Rose, we have Blue Goku and Vegeta, Kefla, right? Like, we actually have like some, at like high level, like Dragon Ball Super Saiyans going on here. And then, of course, we have Tao, an infamous mercenary Tao right there for 2025. So I think this is very interesting, right? What we've got going on with these Dokkan Fests and what we could potentially see upcoming. Now, the way things have gone, I think I would probably lean towards thinking that the next Dokkan Fest is more going to be kind of like I would say like a lower level Dokkan Fest. I do think so. I would have to double check this, but I also feel like Dokkan. Wait, no, this one we'll get to those later. I also feel like Dokkan and Legends haven't, like, unless it's something like, I don't know, New Year's, which they're both gonna drop like, the bag, like a crazy, like, big release, something like that. I want to say Dokkan and Legends don't really step on their toes. I remember me and Goresh were laughing. This is back in 2019 because Legends was doing its first anniversary, and that's when Dokkan dropped Namek Goku, right? We were laughing about how Dokkan dropped that Namek Super Saiyan Goku, like seemingly to step on Legends' toes, right? Because it was Legends' first anniversary with Super Vegito. I believe Legends won that handily too. That matchup, because remember, Legends went crazy at their first anniversary. It was Super Vegito. It was, I believe, the first time they did Golden Frieza, the first time they did Whis, the first time they did Blue Goku, the first time they did Buhan, and the first time they did Blue Vegeta. It was insane, right? It's like the introduction of all of those characters for the first time, and they had Super Vegito, right? So it was crazy. It was really crazy. And they beat Namek Goku. But besides, like, since then, I feel like both games have kind of, like, it's like they know, like, maybe we shouldn't be, like, opposing each other like that, because what happens is it's the illusion of Dokkan and Legends battling when all profits just go to the same place. That's, basically it, sort of, right? So, like, that's, I don't know. I feel like with Legends entering, like, massive, the unpredictable 8th anniversary, my thinking is that Dokkan is not like, all right, time to go super crazy right here. So I'm thinking it's going to be kind of like, like another Earthling character like Tao, right? So let's look at the dates for some of these characters. So Future Gohan, May 31st. I remember vividly that was the first time I watched Hunter x Hunter. Yep. Right during that time, that was the first time I was watching Hunter x Hunter, May 31st, 2018. Then May 31st, 2019 for Namek Goku. Kefla was May 29th, 2020. I remember that. She was a V-Jump leak. Well, a lot of these characters are V-Jump leaks back then. 2021 was Kid Gohan. Speaking of V-Jump, I remember they showed Garlic Jr. and there was a lot of arguments on if Garlic Jr. was the Dokkan Fest or a banner unit. So yeah, that was the 21st. Or excuse me, that was the 31st of 2021. Then we have the Blues, the 31st of 2022. We have Turles, the 31st of 2023, and then we have Rose, who's the 30th of 2024. So, and then Tao is the 30th of 2025. Now, why do I think it's dropping on the 29th? Simple. They don't drop banners on the weekend. They don't. So 30th and 31st are the weekend, means it's going to fall on the 29th, is what's going to happen. And it's not going to be the week after either. I don't think it'll be a June 1st release. I think it'll be the 29th. Also, I do have this pulled up, right? Kind of like the road map I threw up of what I think is coming. So we got that May 29th Dokan Fest. I think there'll be a Yellow Coin LR somewhere in the middle of the month. Exactly which week of June it is, I'm not really super sure. I assume it would be in here. But, I mean, it could be this week. Previously, in 2022, Golden Frieza did come out this week, and then the next week was Vegeta and Trunks, right? So they have done, like, back-to-back weeks like that before. Hopefully they wouldn't do that again. So there's that, and then I think June 30th is when TDC Tanabata could start. Maybe it would be July 7th, but previously they did that to hit the date of the global anniversary for GDC, which I thought was great. Again, I wish we would go back to that. But if they're gonna, I think it's because of Japanese player feedback, so they're probably gonna go back to this, like this type of thing with TDC, Tanabata being like kind of like the end of the 30th there. That's what I think we will probably see. So, my major pick really is TN. Like, I felt like we could go like TN Dokkanfest. I felt like we could do like yellow coin second form Cell, and then lead into TDC, which could be like Android / Cell Saga. Get like, you know, Dokkanfest LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, a crazy Carnival LR Perfect Cell, and then maybe our next arc for Dokan Frontier could be Android / Cell Saga. Dokan Frontier, I do think is fun. The problem for Dokan Frontier easily is the fact that it is Namek Saga. If this was not Namek Saga, I think that this would be very good, would be my opinion. Well, I mean, let's see, but I think if it wasn't Namek Saga, it would be way more fun. So the one thing Dokkan needs to do, they almost need to make sure to not rush into the next Dokan Frontier. I think that would be a huge mistake for them. And instead, they either need to set up the next Dokan Frontier to be based on one of these categories that could sustain that type of gameplay, right? So I'm not... in the data, they have three series: OG, DBZ, and GT. Like, so like if we click Dokan Frontier, this right here, there was a DBZ, a OG Dragon Ball, and a GT. They did not have a Dragon Ball Super one. I guess, you know, I mean, Dragon Ball Super Remake, maybe that's why. But so I mean, bro, no GT arc could be fun. Right now, we only have the Shadow Dragon Saga as an actual GT arc. These just would not be fun. Like, they would have to like cut GT in half or something, or I'm not sure. It wouldn't. I don't think it would. Like this could be very fun for Android / Cell Saga and Boo Saga in particular, but I don't know. It is crazy. Like, we're 11 years in, but I feel like for this type of mode, we need significantly more characters for all these arcs. Like, am I crazy to say that, like, Dokan Frontier, like, it is a good idea, but it's almost, like, too early for Dokan Frontier? Is that, like... like, that's... Like, playing Namek Saga Dokan Frontier, like, that's what it feels like. That's the problem. The problem is that every run, you're using the Ginyu Force, right? Like, all these characters are just nothing. Like, my idea... I wanted to do a video on this. I guess I could, because I think things might get a little bit slow in a couple of days here. But, like, one idea I had is that Dokkan, you know, so they dropped... The last, like, Dokanfest release, god damn, was Vegeta. It was Scouter Vegeta was the last Namek Dokanfest release. That is crazy. But, like, okay, so, like, Namek Vegeta would drop as the Dokanfest. And then, you know, they could grab, so a pool right here, and then, I don't know, like, Zarbon right here. And then just, like, get them TUR Awakenings. These just, like, rare characters and SR characters that are on every banner. Like, we give them Awakenings. Just at least make them moderately useful. That, dude, that's an easy way to... And, I mean, that would be a better idea than, like, doing, like, the alternate artwork stuff, right? Like, filling out these rosters. I don't know. The thing is, the alternate artwork is just... It's a banner. Right? And they put Super Saiyan 3 Goku and God fucking Goku on there. Like, people care. It's like, I feel like I'm pushing a good idea here, but, like, people aren't going to give a shit about a pool, right? It's like, you know, Twitter will be like, oh, yeah, no, that's cool. A pool. But, like, I mean, people don't actually give a fuck. Like, they want Goku. They want Vegeta, right? That's what it is. So, yeah, we'll see. But, I would hope that, like, you know, Dokkan has done it many times, where, like, you know, they've dropped Tech Ultimate Gohan, and then we've gone right into a Boo Saga, a worldwide download celebration, right? I would like them to do one of these kind of, like, layered releases leading into TDC, so I'm hoping that they would do something like this, you know, again, and Android Cell Saga, drop a couple of these releases, and prepare for Android Cell Saga Dokan Frontier, which it might go into next, hard to say. I mean, we definitely have way more characters available here, but like, just like, let me just try and spit them out just in seconds of all the releases we would want before the next Dokan Frontier. Just like very fast, very fast. Okay. I'd want like a new Super Trunks, LR Super Trunks. We definitely want like a new Dokanfest Piccolo, like potentially like a new like Piccolo and Kami or something like that. That could be a huge one. Android 18 needs a Dokanfest. She's another one. Mecha Frieza needs a Dokanfest. Android 19 and 20 don't even have TURs yet. Yamcha, Tien need TURs for the actual Cell games itself. They don't have TURs. Yamcha and Tien from the Cell games don't even have TURs. This Trunks needs to be a Dokanfest right here. The one that takes down 17 and 18. This Trunks needs to be a Dokanfest right here. The one that kills First Form Cell. Right? We need a new Perfect Cell. Honestly, we could use another 17 and 18. Like a tag 17 and 18. There is actually so much they could still do. And I hope they would before we would dip our toes into more Frontier. Yeah, but that's, that's the thing. That's the thing. So, all right, guys, let me know what you would like to see for the next Dokkan Fest. For me, my pick is going to be Tien from the fight against Second Form Cell. That's what I'm going to go with. Tien does have several options he could have as a Dokkan Fest, by the way. I do think Tien from the fight against Second Form Cell. I think Tien... Where is he? This one. This is the form. The LRTN does not use this from the 22nd World Tournament. So is LRTN. It's from the 22nd World Tournament. But he doesn't do the... Like, Tien does... That fight is so good and so long. He does so much that's not even in the LR, right? So, like, this forearm technique... Like, they could drop this and... I mean, they could make it a different named character, honestly. But they could do this as a Dokkan Fest. And then, of course, they could also do this as a Dokan Fest as well. I think Tien versus Nappa. Those would really be my 3 picks. I mean, I know there's big Tien fans, but do I think another moment besides those 3 is worthy of a Dokan Fest? I mean, maybe if you really wanted to say 23rd World Tournament Tien. I mean, he does have a great fight with Goku, which Goku ultimately wins. But I think 22nd World Tournament Tien, and then Cell Saga and Saiyan Saga. Those are like the 3 big, like, kind of like Tien moments. Like, he's there when Kid Goku fights Demon King Piccolo, but like Tien, I mean, practically gets one shot by Drum, DKP's minion, right? Like it's like Tien has no impact. All Tien is used as a shield by DKP, right? Like, it's like Tien doesn't really do much. So there's not really many moments where, like, we could hit the Dokkan Fest. And I think Second Form Cell, his moment against Second Form Cell, that to me is a perfect moment for a Dokkan Fest, and a perfect moment to continue setting up Android Cell Saga to be a more fun Dokan Frontier than this, where every single run, notice Ginyu Force is our secondary team. Here we are in Node 22, Ginyu Force, secondary team. Node 21. Let's see. What do you think's our secondary team right here? Oh, it's the Ginyu Force. That's the problem. It's just not fun. Okay, like you have to. You have to be using the Ginyu Force as your secondary team, man. They gotta be like the backup. They have to be. And then it's just, this is like, it begins to feel very samey. Like, people say it's boring and samey. It's because it's the same setup every single time. You just do this, right? Not that good, We need more and more and more characters. Another easy... I guess I'm turning into, like, talking about how Dokan Frontier could be better. But another easy way to do this, by the way, is if we just go down and look at one of these random nodes right here, there should be, like, three special cards minimum per fight, right? Like, there needs to be multiple, not just one. This is good. Like, they did do a good job with this, because this Goku was very good in that fight, by the way. Like, they did a great job with this. But there needs to be a couple of more. Like, I get that they want to make it tough, but you also want to make it fun! So, let me know what you guys think. I think Tien could be a good one. Here, of course, is what we've had for that previous Dokkanfest. Let me know what you guys would like to see, and I'll catch you guys next time.